I'm Kimmy, and I will be teaching about why you should invest in mutual funds. So a mutual fund is an investment company that pulls funds obtained by selling shares to investors and makes investments to achieve the financial goal of income or growth or both. Mutual funds invest in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, short-term money market instruments, and other securities or assets. The way that So holders of mutual funds have no say in running the company, although they have equity interest in the pool of assets and as a residual claim on the profits. So the way that mutual funds work is within a mutual fund, the way that mutual funds work is when a group of investors or shareholders, so right here, the little people, go and purchase shares in a mutual fund or in an investment company. And then from there, the investment company purchases shares in an accumulation of stocks and bonds. So from there, they purchase shares in a bunch of stocks and bonds. For example, we have Google. And IBM, which is another major company, and Amazon, and Apple, and Microsoft. And so that is how a mutual fund works.
Hello! We are your hosts, Ashley
and Sadie.
And we are going to give you the lowdown on all of your mutual fund questions. First of all, what is a mutual fund? It's basically a fund, as Cami described, that you put your money into this fund, and then there's a manager that takes care of it, makes sure it goes where it needs to, and that you receive the money that you need to as part of your fund.
Secondly, money market funds. Money market funds are investments that are highly liquid, which means that the money is easily accessible, and have very short maturities, which means they don't have to stay in an account for very long. They are very safe and pay a higher return than banks or credit unions.
Yes. Thirdly, there are 3 different types of people in their the way they look at investments. So there's the highly aggressive people that they take a lot of risks, and they often receive a lot of returns on their money. There's the moderate people that they're less aggressive, and they also earn a moderate return on their investments. And then lastly, there's the conservative people that are very cautious and very conservative with their money, but they don't earn as much money as they would as if they got stocks or something that's a little bit more risky.
Lastly, balanced funds. So this is pretty easy to understand, but it basically means that you have money in both bonds and stocks. It's usually 60% stocks and 40% bonds. This helps you to receive a well-balanced return of income and capital gains.
That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you've learned all that you needed to about your mutual funds and their objectives. Signing off today is your host, Ashley.
And Sadie.
Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Lexi Grisman. I am your financial planner for the day.
Hi, I am Kimmy.
Hi. So, what can I do for you today?
So I was just shopping around, and I was wondering what fees you charge to invest in a mutual fund.
Yeah, perfect. So basically, there are 2 different mutual funds, and they can be broken into categories. So first is the ongoing fees to keep you invested in the funds. Next are transaction paid fees when you buy or sell shares in a fund, which are also known as floats. I don't offer a stated commission. I charge based on the amount of assets that I manage on your behalf. Typically anywhere from 1% to 2% per year. The more assets you have, the lower your fees are.
So what is stated commission?
So a stated commission is just a percentage or the amount that you've invested. That includes the money invested and also the money working for you.
So should I invest in a load or no load? Is it worth it to take the high fees in the end?
Yeah, so it would be most beneficial to you if you invest in a no-load mutual fund with low fees. The SEC says that for a long-term investor, a 1% fee that increases at 4% a year will eat 1/3 of your total returns.
Can you explain the share classes?
Of course. So share classes there's about 7 share classes, but we mainly use only 3. So share class A, B, and C. So share class A charges a front-end load, which is taken off of your initial investment. So if you want to think about A as a front-end load, think about A as being in the front of the alphabet. And then when you have the share class B, they're classified by the back end or contingent deferred sales charge. These charges are typically good for investors with little investment cash and long-term investment horizon. If you withdraw the funds from any certain period of time, typically 5 to 8 years, you're charged with a back-end load. So that is where a back. So if you think of B for back. And then the Class C shares are typically a level fund. So just think of it. Front, A being in the front of the alphabet, B for back, and C as just being super stagnant. So this works well if you are redeeming shares in the short term, and your entire investment contribution earns interest income. So one thing that you should look out for are 12B1 fund or fees. This is an annual marketing or distribution fee on a mutual fund. They're considered to be an operational expense, and as such, they're included in a fund's expense ratio. It's generally between 0.25 and 1%, which is also the maximum allowed of a fund's net assets. You can also go onto FINRA's website to compare costs of various funds and share classes to estimate total returns.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So I heard that you were looking for some advice in which funds you should invest in. And as a financial advisor, I can help you in deciding which investments would be most beneficial for you based off of your financial goals. So to start off, we should review what your investment philosophy is based on your financial goals. So tell me, what are some of your goals?
Yeah, so I'm starting college this fall semester, and I don't have that much money, and so, but I know that it's important, and I should start saving now. I just don't know how I would go about that, just because I don't have that much money, you know.
So based off of your goals, I would classify you in a more aggressive philosophy investment.
Okay.
Because you have more time on your hands. So in order to reach your goals, you would need to engage in the higher risk because there's a higher rate of return. And if there is a loss, it's not as detrimental because you have more time on your hands to recover from that.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
And so there are different kinds of things you can invest in when it comes to mutual funds and which ones you want to invest in. Since you're more aggressive, we would go with those higher stocks. And
okay, I think I'd like to do that then.
Okay, yeah, and I can be here to help you figure out which ones will be best, and based off of, as we just go throughout and keep meeting, I can continue to help you find those ones that will be best.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Sadie. It was nice meeting you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Why, hello, young lady.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing so good today.
That's good. I'm glad.
So, my husband just passed away, and I'm just an old lady living at home, and I need help with saving for my retirement. What can you tell me about that?
So, that's a very good question. I'm glad you came for me for help on that. So based off of your circumstances, we would want to go more conservative, just because you have less time, and if there's a loss, it's more detrimental to you. So in finding which things we would want to have you invest in, we would want ones with lower risk. The thing with that, there's a lower amount of rate of return, but we can figure out which ones would best. You can invest in more of those types so that you can get the amount you need.
Okay.
So we can't afford to have you be too conservative at the same time, just so you can reach your goal for retirement.
I just want to take care of my grandchildren.
It's wonderful, and I'm happy to help you in doing that.
Thank you so much. You are a bright young lady.